Hey, Joanna. Thank you once again for giving me the chance to take a look at your ad account and to give you a bit of feedback and do a little bit of an audit. So there's a couple of things that I've noticed straight up that kind of raise a couple of flags with me. Nothing too big, but the first thing might be like it looks like you guys have spent quite a lot on ads in the last couple of years since the start of 2015. So almost $3 million, which tells me that your Pixel and your Facebook ad accounts should be very well seasoned, and you should have a lot of data to be able to utilize and leverage and create lookalikes and to help improve and refine the targeting as you go along. One of the first figures that jumped out at me was this here, the frequency. So 14.8 is quite high. Now, if you're not aware, I'm sure you are, but just in case you aren't, frequency is obviously how many times on average each person that has seen your ads sees them. So we're going to have, that's an average as well. So we're going to have people at the lower end of the spectrum, which might be, they might see ad 4 or 5 times, but people at the other end of the spectrum that are seeing your ad 30 or even 40 times. So there's a lot of wastage, in my opinion, maybe there, or there could be. I'm not saying that there is, but there could be a lot of optimization and optimizing the budgets there to ensuring you're getting a bit more cost-effective CPM. So I think that tells me that you continuously targeting the same group of people, and if they're not converting, they're not turning into customers or clients for you, then there's probably not much point. If someone's seeing an ad 10, 12 times and not actioning, then that's a good indication that they're probably not going to action it at all. So we can cap frequency. Anyone who's seen an ad, over 5-6 times, we can exclude them from advertising. So it's just reducing any ad spend and reducing any unnecessary spend. So that's probably the first thing that I've noticed on the ad account. The second thing would be the pixels and your actual tracking that you're using. So it seems like you're using mainly custom conversions. There's no problem using custom conversions, but always, I would suggest, and I always recommend to anyone who I speak to or run ads for any of my clients, is to always use Facebook's preloaded events. So to give you an idea of what some of those are, they have like a purchase or a lead or a complete registration pixel event. So always using those, I would, if possible, use those over any of the custom conversions. Reason being is Facebook will be able to track that a lot cleaner and a lot nicer, and we can create lookalikes off the back of that. So it looks like I did have a little look around at some of the campaigns and some of the custom conversions. So, for example, the live campaign you got running now is using a custom conversion for the consumer home loan. And by taking a look at that, that's just tracking anyone to click through the ad. So it's not actually giving us a solid lead, as in, the optimization that Facebook is trying to, or the event Facebook's trying to optimize for is not what we want. It's not a lead. It's not someone who's coming through and potentially going to be a client or become someone of value. It's more so that's just looking for anyone to click through to the landing page. So we can go a bit further into the funnel and make sure that we're using the correct tracking pixels to help us have more visibility and see what ads are converting, and see where the success is. And by doing that, that alternatively tells us what ads aren't working. So we can just focus on what's working and improve that and kind of just scale what is working and ignore what's not. So it's all about testing, but without having accurate tracking, it makes a lot of guesswork. And it makes it a lot harder for us to be able to track our success and track what is working. So that's one thing that I mainly focus on, and one of the biggest things that jumped out at me. Another one is, I noticed you guys are using quite generic ads. So, there's no problem using these imagery, but they do look a little bit like stock images. So now, more so than ever now, having creative that is very customized, that, if someone sees that, they can say, okay, that's Hash Ching. We know what that is right away. That's where everything's going these days. Just with the sheer volume of advertisers and traffic and noise on Facebook, that's what it comes back to having engaging creative that's really going to stick out and makes people stop in their track. So I think a really cool stat that I heard was the average Facebook user scrolls the height of the Statue of Liberty in a day. So I think it's something like 300 feet worth of newsfeed people scroll through. So, we don't have a lot of time to get people to stop in the newsfeed and look at an ad because of the amount of ads that they are seeing. So having creatives like this, there's nothing eye-catching about that. That could, any mortgage broker or any, real estate, for even example, not even in the same industry, could have that same image, and it just doesn't stop anyone in their tracks. So I would look at, creating customized content, having video content as well, and just upping the game there. So, and just testing a lot of different things. Like a lot of the ads that I see here are all homes, and they look a little bit stocky. Like there's some ads here or some imagery here, so that looks like a very stock ad. So people can see that from a mile away. But it's good to test different things. So having a different lifestyle, having some houses like that. But yeah, definitely customizing and making creative that is unique to your brand. Next thing I've noticed is probably with your audiences. So it looks like you are targeting individual suburbs here, which I wouldn't even bother doing that. I mean, that's very, very granular. If you're looking at cities, I would even just choose the cities and let Facebook do the heavy lifting there for us. So providing Facebook with it, Facebook knows it's smart enough. And once you have a trained pixel is what I like to call it. So a pixel that has enough data behind it that knows your customer. So that comes back to the importance of using the correct pixels and making sure that the correct pixels are loaded up and tracking is set up correctly. So then Facebook can start to build a bit of a picture around your customer. So there's a difference between using the lead pixel as opposed to the purchase pixel, as opposed to the complete registration pixel, for example. So they're obviously going to be all for different types of campaigns. So if we're using custom conversions, Facebook's not able to generate enough data. So if we're using the event codes provided by Facebook, and if we're consistently using the lead generation or the lead pixel for lead generation activities, complete registration for, whether it's someone opting in and signing up to an event or signing up to a webinar, those two people are going to be very, very different. So someone who signs up to a webinar or a free event might be very different to someone who just downloads a white paper or a free report, for example. So Facebook's able to build an audience on both of those avatars within your business, and it accumulates that data onto your pixel. So once you have enough data in there, you just give Facebook, quite a broad targeting, and you let it do the heavy lifting. Now, obviously, there are a lot of different things you can do with the targeting. I'm not saying whatever you guys are doing here is wrong. It's just, everyone has their own strategy. That's just how I work, and that's the strategy that we follow. Typically, for a mortgage broking company that we've worked with in the past, and a couple of financial institutions, so similar professional services to what you guys are running, or even some buyers agencies, so working in home, in first home buyers, that sort of thing. We're seeing an average cost per lead of anywhere from $20 up to $50 consistently. So one strategy that I can't see that you guys have done, and you have tried lead forms, which is cool. So lead forms are a really, really good way to get people to stop in their tracks and stop them in their newsfeed to gather their information then and there. So it's just about lining up everything to making it correctly. So there's sort of three main things for a campaign to work correctly. So the first being the targeting in the audience. So using interest-based targeting and the detailed targeting provided by Facebook by creating groups that way. Also using any existing databases and email lists that you guys have and uploading them to Facebook and creating lookalike audiences. And then creating lookalike audiences off the back of any of the pixel traffic. So any of the past conversions that Facebook has already accumulated on your pixel. So we use a multitude of all those different types of targeting strategies, and we really just separate them out as much as we can. So the second thing after targeting is probably the creative. So the creative and the copy is one of the obviously one of the biggest things that's going to stop people in the newsfeed. So just it's a lot about testing different audiences. Testing different creative videos against imagery, different types of imagery, testing different placements. So whether it's an Instagram Insta story versus an Instagram newsfeed, or if it's a Facebook right-hand column versus a mobile video, vertical video, that sort of thing. So having tailored creatives for the placement as well as different placements. So there's a load of different things that we can that I can kind of see that there's room for improvement here. So other than introducing lead forms and getting lead forms back in, I'd probably look at, it doesn't look like you have much brand awareness, that sort of thing. So I did jump into your website and I noticed you have a pretty cool video on there, which explains a bit about Hashgene, who you guys are, what you guys do. So I'd definitely create, this one here. I'd definitely upload that and use that as a kind of a viral TVC, which is just always on and it's just always accumulating an audience. So we can run that. And the magic with videos on Facebook is the deliverability of video views is really, really cheap. It's sort of moving into that realm where video content is starting to be favored by Facebook, especially in the awareness phase. So we would use that at a top of funnel kind of an awareness piece. So running a TVC and just having that always on as that video view. And any views and any people who interact with that video or even watch the video, we can then retarget with a consideration piece and then a conversion piece. So what I'll do is also send through a bit of a strategy behind how we actually work and the kind of 3-step process that we use for most of our lead generation clients. But yeah, I can see you guys have done a great job so far with what you've what I can see. It looks like you are starting to get a couple of leads and you're getting some conversions and testing a lot of different things, which is really, really good. So good on you there. But yeah, if you want to chat further and see if there's, anything specifically that we can help out with, or if you are looking at getting an agency to jump on board and help manage that with you, just feel free to reach out to me. But what I'll do is I'll flick over this video to you just with a little bit of some feedback and some pointers. And I'll also shoot through a strategy deck, which shows you our strategies that laid out what we actually do with clients exactly like yourselves. And what I'll also include in the email is a case study deck, so you can see the sort of results that we're getting across all the industries that we work with. So you really, hopefully that's not too much information for you, but I hope you get some bit of value out of that. And feel free to hit me up if you guys want to chat further, or if you have any other questions. But thanks again for your time, and I will chat to you soon. Thank you.